Salam alaikum. Malaikum bakwenda and Sala. What's going on? So I'm saying Sala and Sala. How you guys doing? Peace and blessings be to all. Hope you guys are doing great. You know me, guys, like always, another day, another dollar. Just making the donuts like always. Philadelphia here, the weather's been kind of crazy. We have gotten very good days up in the 70s, close to 80s, and dropping back down to the 30s and 40s. So it's kind of wild out here. And as I observe the weather, you know, I'm pondering, thinking about things, you know, things that is happening all over the world, the universe, and a little bit of everything. Anyway, I came in today a little bit today just to speak a little bit about God, right? What do we understand as God? What is God? And I know everybody has their own interpretation, their own meanings, their own belief system, their own religions, their own traditions that come from their own cultures that has been implemented and understood through decades of heritage and ancestry and ancestral backgrounds and understandings. But I just wanted to come in here and kind of speak a little bit on it, because if you guys are like me, right, and you guys think about these things, and you come from backgrounds, you know, that come, you know, from some type of religious background, whether it's through the three major religions out here, which is Judaism, Islam, and Christianity, or we could say Christianity, Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, in that order, whichever order you want to put it. You would understand and see that a lot of people follow these religions and traditions, and they believe in these traditions and these religions. Believe. They have faith in the things that these books and these understandings of God and messengers and prophets have stated. They have belief and faith in these words in these books, because as we all know, we haven't seen God. I myself have never seen God. God has never spoke to me, literally spoke to me. Neither has Jesus, neither has any prophet or anyone. And I don't mean to say it and that you might look at it as a mockery. I'm not mocking. I'm just saying and telling you the truth. Most of you guys who follow me know that I have been in several religions, and I have practiced them and I have studied them to a certain extent, not great in a great extent like a whole bunch of other religious practitioners and people who have studied, you know, very in depth and have gone to different type of schools of thought, and you know, this form. I haven't gone into that because for me, anyone that goes to a school to learn about religion, and the school has a certain set of guides of how to look at things and see things and understand things and interpret things of that faith system or belief, to me that's no good. I don't consider that valid, because you're being taught a certain religion a certain way, and a belief a certain way, and a doctrine a certain way, and it's a whole bunch of things, you know, a philosophy, a history, so much that has to do when you really get into studying these things, you know. And these type of schools, you see that a lot of people who have become preachers, priests, from whatever denomination, they have gone to a lot of these seminars and a lot of these schools to be taught. Excuse me. So, you come already with these preconceived, understandings and notions and ideas because you've been taught this. And a lot of people say, yeah, well, you have to be taught to be able to understand. And yes, in some form, you do. But there's one thing of being taught something of how to go about, but another thing is to being brainwashed. And that there's no other way for you to look at that, let's say, doctrine or books, and understanding that there's no other way. You have to look at it just with this lens, with this eye, and that's it. If you bear to the right, you off. If you bear to the left, you off. You have to be here. And that's why we have all these different denominations of Christianity. We even have splits in Islam. We even have Jews that follows a different system, a different doctrine. We have Hebrew Israelites that are not united, and this is the whole problem. Because everyone feels as though that what they know is what it is. There's no room for being taught something new or looking at it from a different perspective and understanding different. No, there's no room for that. So when you have this, there's no progression. There's nothing that that you could do, because you're just gonna stay with that mindset, with that belief system, with that faith that you have, and that's it. If you notice, religions are more based on faith than actual proof. Like, prove to me that Noah built an ark. Give me the evidence. Prove to me that the Tower of Babel, where everybody got their tongue changed into a different language, exists, or when that happened with the changing of tongues, changing of languages. The proof. Where's the proof of a lot of things that are written in these books? I don't want your theory. I don't want what you have heard. I want the proof, the evidence, for me to see it, look at it, touch it, feel it, smell it, taste it. Like that, I could say, this is real. Sorry about that, guys, but I'm making the donuts, and this is what it is. Anyway, let's bear off away from that. Let's bear off from that, and let's look at something different. Let's go a little bit different. When you speak to people, right, that follow a lot of these religions, and you ask them different questions, about why would God leave or let newly born children be born in this world, and they have cancer, they have health problems. Why is the world the way the world is if there is a God, right? And they will give you different reasons why this happens or why that happens. The choices that God gave us as humans the ability to choose right from wrong and all this and all that. Yeah, but still, there's billions of people They go through horrible things in life. And where is God there? You know? So I'm not saying for you not to believe in your religion, not to believe in your God. But I'm saying think about these things. And think it rational. Have rationale. Think. What are, what I say, the excuses that people put when you ask them these questions? You know, and the reasons why. Do they make sense to you? To me, they do not. And I have chosen in my life to think about God the way the Congo people talked and said what God is and what is not. And it's very simple. We cannot perceive as humans what God is. We can't. We cannot perceive what God is. We just cannot. And we say God because it is the English word to mean that power, whatever it may be, and they make it sound masculine because that's what it makes it sound. But we're not talking about masculine or feminine or anything. The Bantu people said and say Nsambi and Sambiampungo, God, the great spirit, God the spirit. And they say God is too far from us. Too far from us. And they don't mean that he's far, that he lives in a place that it's too far for us to get to. And in another sense, it calls to mean that, but it's too far from our understanding and our reach. We cannot comprehend what that power is. So when we say, right, licencia Nsambi, that we ask for his or hers or that spirit's blessing or that power's blessing, that's all we ask. If you notice, you've never seen it in Ganga that says Nsambi Mpunga Ganga, even though you hear and some Ramas have a Kalunga, but and some people in the Afro-Cuban don't understand Nsambia as it being God. They understand it as it being Kalunga. And you could use Kalunga also. But Kalunga, saying Kalunga for the understanding or the meaning, let's say, of that power, that spirit, that great energy source, is more the representation of the vastness. You see how the ocean is so big and how so many mysteries the ocean has that even man hasn't been able to really and fully been able to kind of research, because the depth and the vastness. So it's, when we say Kalunga and using it as in Nsambi and Mpungo, instead of saying Nsambi and Mpungo, we say Kalunga, it's more about the vastness of creation of that power. And also, it's a understanding that there is the ocean, the vastness. And then you have the spiritual side of it, the ancestral side of it also. So there's not a problem when somebody's saying, saluting Kalunga as God, because that is something that holds many secrets and power that comes from that great source. And you know, we understand this, and some people look at this understanding differently than others. I understand this, but in true reality, nobody could perceive what God is. Nobody knows what God is. Nobody could tell you, explain to you what God is. You can't comprehend really what God is. And I'm using God so we can understand. You can't even understand what Kalunga is. You might have treaties, but in all true reality, you do not understand Kalunga. Kalunga is too vast. Just like the word Nsambi and Nsambi Mpungo, God, using Kalunga and that same perspective, in that same way, you don't understand Kalunga in its full. You can't. It's too vast. Just like Nsambi Mpungo, it's too vast. So, with me saying these things, right, and coming into this conversation, I rather say and believe as the Kikongo believe, as that Nsambi Mpungo, as that Kalunga. I rather believe in that, because at least that makes more sense than believing in a God all powerful, all knowing, all forgiving, and also reprimanding when he has to, right? I rather believe as the Bantus believe. And that's just me, guys. I'm not saying for you guys to believe in this. It's just, there are some things that make sense, and there are things that do not make no sense, and there are things that you cannot comprehend. And Nsambi Mpungo, Nsambi, Kalunga, and its whole vastness, you can't understand. Nobody can. It's too vast. So we get back to what I first started with, right? Saying all these things that happen to children, to people, all the wickedness, right, that we look at as a wicked, bad, evil, whatever that's going on in this world, all the mistreatment of people, all the higher up people are taking advantage of the people who are down and below, you know, like me, like us, let's say. I put myself in it. This has been happening for decades. If there was a God, the way Christianity, the Jewish faith, the Islamic tradition, or the Hebraic traditions, or any other religion that believes in this concept, why is this God not doing nothing for us? Why is this God letting all these things happen? So I say, and here I go, I say, Nsambi Mpungo Kalunga already gave us everything we need. We are here. We are created, right? And all the animals, insects, trees, fruits, vegetables, meats, everything, medicine, everything is already here. It's us, the human, the people, and mainly those who have power, who have ruined this earth. Everything that this earth has and had was for our benefit and for our use. But the way things have been going through time, all our resources and our way of life and things that we need for survival has been depleted, has been exhausted, has been excavated, has been sold. Like, you know, nowadays you have to go to a pharmacy, to a doctor, and to a pharmacy, when back in the days your grandma knew how to cure you, your grandpa, with things from the earth. It was very rare people went to a doctor. And when they did go to a doctor, usually the doctor came to you. He lived in your town, he lived in your village, he lived close to you. You call, you go, whether when back riding, walking, whatever. And they came to you. And they used their knowledge and the resources that the earth gave. So to me, God has given us anything. God doesn't need to do nothing. We have everything in our disposal. Whether it's contaminated already, whether a lot of these things have been exhausted and they're not in their pure form the way they were, or even the knowledge that we these days don't have, or haven't took haven't made the effort to learn and to understand nature a little bit that could benefit us and help us. That's on us. And also at those who are ruling the country and the world and has messed up all our ecosystem and everything and life here in this planet. We just got to make the better of it and learn something that could benefit us and our families and others. And if you notice, in Kisimalongo, that's what it's based upon and is trying to do. Use what the planet has and has given us, whether physical or spiritual, to help yourself and to help your family and to help others. I hope I didn't bore you guys with my blabbering. I hope those who think like me maybe and have had doubts or something could come to your own conclusion and your own reasoning and make your own mind on what do you believe and you don't believe. Like I said, that word believe and that word faith has a lot of perks in it. I'd rather know than have faith, or that I have to believe. I'd rather know. You want to know. You don't want faith. You don't want belief. You want the know. If this, you telling me this is like this, I want to know how is that. And until we get to that point, a lot of us are going to be lost in the sauce. Have a great day. Be blessed. I don't expect for people to agree with me. You could agree or disagree. To each his own. Keep it respectful in the comments. My email address is tatazongo21@yahoo.com. Be safe. Have a great day.